Picture your 73-year-old mother standing next to a brand new electric SUV at a dealership. The door swings open like a barn door and she has to hoist herself up into a seat higher than her kitchen counter. Then she sits down and stares at a 30-inch glass slab where the air conditioning knob used to be. That is the whole problem with this industry in one image, and today we are fixing it. I am not selling anything, I do not work for a dealership, and I have spent years underneath cars knowing the difference between a brochure promise and what actually happens after 18 months on the road. Here are 6 electric SUVs sitting on lots right now, dirt cheap, and almost nobody is buying them, even though they might be the most senior-friendly vehicles in America. Let us start the countdown at number 6, the Ford Mustang Mach-E. This one starts around $43,000, but with Ford practically begging you to take it off the lot, you are looking at closer to $38,000 to $45,000 after incentives, some as high as $6,000 in customer cash alone. Ford's own electric vehicle sales fell 75% in a single month this past July, and the Mach-E specifically dropped nearly 65% year over year. Why is nobody buying it? Because it looks like a coupe pretending to be an SUV, and that sloped roofline murders your rear visibility. But here's what it does right. The ride is smooth, the safety systems are genuinely good, automatic braking, blind spot monitoring, adaptive cruise, all standard. And here's a small miracle in 2026. It actually kept a physical volume knob. The trap here is the resale value. When sales fall in half in a single year, that car is going to be worth pennies on the dollar down the road. So this is strictly a buy it and keep it forever kind of deal, not a flip. Number 5, the Hyundai Kona Electric. This is the cheapest electric SUV you can buy in America right now, and after discounts, you are looking at around $27,000 to $30,000. Hyundai actually cut the American lineup down to a single trim with a smaller battery than what they sell in Canada, which tells you everything about how much confidence they have in this market right now. The range is only 200 miles, which by 2026 standards is genuinely on the short side. But if your daily life is groceries, doctor's appointments, and visiting the grandkids across town, 200 miles is plenty, and this thing is small enough to park in a shoebox. Low step-in height, simple controls, nothing fancy. The honest warning here, do not buy this one if you take long road trips, because the charging speed is slower than the competition too, and you will be standing at a charger longer than you would like. Number 4, the Honda Prologue. And this one comes with a real asterisk. Honda just announced this past July that 2026 is the final model year. They are walking away from this vehicle entirely and going back to hybrids. So you can get one for around $39,000 to $45,000 after roughly $8,000 or $9,000 in combined discounts, but you are buying an orphan. Nobody knows what long-term parts support or software updates look like for a car the manufacturer already gave up on. What it does right is genuinely impressive though. Over 300 miles of range on the front-wheel drive version, a spacious cabin, great visibility with tons of glass. The catch, and it is a big one, Honda ripped out most of the physical buttons in favor of touchscreen controls. So if you already struggle with tiny menus, this is going to frustrate you. Buy this one only if you plan to keep it for the next decade and genuinely do not care what it is worth when you are done with it. Number 3, the Chevrolet Blazer EV. And this is where I have to be blunt with you. Sales on this one fell 75% in the first half of this year alone, the worst drop of any electric Chevrolet on the market. Dealers are practically giving these away. Discounts of $10,000 to $15,000 are not unusual, bringing an otherwise $44,000 vehicle down into the mid-30s. 320 miles of range on the right trim, which is excellent. But here is the mechanical trap and the ergonomic trap rolled into one. The seating position sits low, more like a sports sedan than a proper SUV, which means getting in and out is more like lowering yourself into a bathtub than stepping into a truck. If your knees or hips give you trouble, this is a hard pass no matter how big the discount is. Great car for somebody who is still spry, a rough deal for somebody who needs an easy climb in and out. Number 2, the Volkswagen ID.4. And here is a number that should stop you in your tracks. Some dealers are sitting on inventory that will take over a year, in some cases closer to 465 days, just to sell through. In the last month and a half, some regions moved barely over 100 units. That is not slow, that is nearly frozen, which means the discounts are real, $10,000 to $12,000 off in many cases, bringing this down to around $30,000 to $35,000 for a vehicle that started at $45,000. What it does right, honestly, might be the best visibility of any car on this entire list. Tall glass, upright seating, and it still has some real buttons left on the dash, not everything buried in a screen. The seats are soft and comfortable for long drives. The honest warning, the climate controls still live partly in the touchscreen, so it is not perfect, but compared to most of its rivals, it is downright old-fashioned in the best way. And number 1, the vehicle that honestly surprised surprised me the most while putting this list together? The Chevrolet Equinox EV. Sit with this for a second. Sales on this car dropped over 41% this year, and in some markets, dealers are holding inventory for over 400 days. That is not a niche flop. That was one of Chevrolet's flagship electric models, and Americans walked right past it. Why? Because the tax credit disappeared and Tesla is eating the market alive, plain and simple, not because the car is bad. After discounts, you are looking at roughly $27,000 to $30,000 for a vehicle with 319 miles of range, which is best in class for the price. The seating height is close to perfect, not too low, not too high. The doors open wide enough to get a walker through without a fight, and the trunk swallows groceries and medical equipment with room to spare. The safety suite is full. Automatic braking, blind spot monitoring, a camera system on higher trims. The one honest complaint? Some of the climate functions still live in the touchscreen, and the rear seat cushion is a touch short for taller passengers. But if I am being straight with you, this is the strongest contradiction I found in the entire electric vehicle market this year. The most practical, comfortable, easy to enter, long-range electric SUV in America right now. And it is the one nobody wants because it does not have a lightning bolt badge on the hood. So here's a question worth sitting with. If the most sensible car on the lot is also the one that nobody wants, what does that tell you about why we actually buy cars in the first place? Is it about what solves your daily problems? Or is it about what badge you want your neighbor to see in the driveway? Drop your answer in the comments. I actually read them. The truth is, this industry spent the better part of 15 years making cars taller, heavier, more expensive, and somehow harder to live with day to day, all while charging you more money for the privilege. Quick recap before you go. The Mustang Mach-E gives you comfort but weak rear visibility. The Kona Electric is the easiest to park but the shortest on range. The Honda Prologue is comfortable but discontinued, so buy it only for the long haul. The Blazer EV has the discount and the range, but a seating position that will not work for bad knees. The Volkswagen ID.4 has the best visibility on this list, paired with real buttons. And the Chevrolet Equinox EV, sitting at number 1, is simply the most complete package on the market right now for anybody who values comfort over cool. Now I want to hear from you. Tell me what you currently drive and tell me your age, because the stories in the comment section on this channel have taught me more about what actually works for real people than any spec sheet ever has. That kind of honest feedback is worth more than any commercial you will ever see. Until next time, buy with your head, not with the badge on the hood.